on this week, talking about that of the governorship and House of Assembly elections, even in Abia State. Well, you cannot walk away from your civic responsibility. You still have that responsibility to exercise on the 18th of March 2023. So get ready and ensure that you exercise your franchise come Saturday this week. Well, one of the governorship candidates in Abia State would be our point of focus on the platform this morning. Straight away, we'll be discussing with the Young Progressives Party governorship candidate in Abia State, looking at his policies, his agenda, programs and activities if he gets elected as the governor of Abia State. Joining us to do justice to this particular one this morning is the official spokesperson for Engineer Ejinaya Chimanwafo Nana, in the person of Ben Udechukwu. Of course, is the Director Media and Publicity, NanaOfuji Campaign Organisation. Ben, you're welcome to the platform. Good to have you. And then also, do not forget that Ben Udechukwu is a lawyer, a journalist, public relations consultant, and advertising practitioner. You have all of these with you, sir. To the glory of God. Interesting. All right. The governorship election was supposed to hold on the 11th of March 2023, talking about last week. But for activities and programs around the Independent National Electoral Commission, they postponed the election. How did your party and your principal, Engineer Ejinaya Nwafo, receive that particular
Okay, but you see, Engineer Ejinaya Nwafo plans till the end. We had a contingency plan because we know that it is not watertight, it is not sacrosanct, the elections could be moved. So what it did was, we had measures, assuming these elections failed to hold on the 11th of March. What do you do next? So the kind of program we had factored in that it could happen. So we're not taken unawares, and we also know that God in His infinite mercy knows why the elections were extended by 1 week. So we have still continued with what we're doing. And so we're not taken unawares, we're not taken aback. We are still reaching out to the people, and the person we could not reach within that other time, we are extending our
so it even turned out to be a week of grace.
Of course.
All right, Ben Udechukwu, let us concentrate on your principal, Engineer Ejinaya Nwafo. People at this moment would be asking a pivotal question: who is Engineer Ejinaya Nwafo? Let us get to know more about him.
Engineer Ejinaya Nwafo, people call him Nana. He trained as an engineer, but most importantly, people see him as one with make of human kindness. Engineer Ejinaya Nwafo, his father was the former deputy governor of Abia State. Everywhere we had gone to, people called him chief of the old block. Everywhere we had gone to, people recognized him as the son of a man who was humane, who was urbane, a man who served humanity with his profession. Nana is the Chief Executive Officer of Tunnel End Construction Company. He is the founding president of Each One Ed One Foundation. That foundation that has been touching lives, that foundation that has been taking care of teachers, civil servants, public servants across the state, the foundation that has been registering our children for JAMB free of charge. It is that foundation that endowed a space future, that foundation that instituted phone, especially for renal failure, what they call kidney failure. But these things are done quietly. It is that foundation that has gone for like 7-8 years into the hinterlands, giving people fertilizer and some other agricultural inputs. It is that foundation that has given wheelchairs and eyeglasses to thousands of Abians without collecting a dime from them. It is that foundation that has been taking care of entrepreneurs. If you remember the other day, they hosted an exhibition at Unga High School. That exhibition has been hosted by Nana for a record 4 years. What is the philosophy behind that? You are an entrepreneur, you're a local entrepreneur in Aba, you're doing well in Abia State. Come and exhibit your goods so that people will know what you're doing. What does he do for them? He pays for the venue and he gives them money to also take care of other activities during the exhibition. So what he's doing is, Nana is not a man of press releases. He's not a man of special announcement. He's a practical person. He's a philanthropist. And I keep saying that of all the things he has got in his life, the one that is most profound is that mark of human kindness, empathy. And the man I'm talking about is the man who has painstakingly located 95% of his businesses in Abia State, as a man who believes in Abia. So to put it mildly, Nana is a patriot and he's a true Abian. And the man, when he says, think Abia first, he is the real think Abia first. Because everything he has got is there. If you doubt what I'm saying, go to Amafo, there's an asphalt plant. Go to Nimo, there's a furniture company. Go to MCC Road, each one Edmond Foundation is there. If you go to Werenta, that is a treasure. And then as an able man to the core, he has one of the biggest quarry sites in Ebonyi State.
All right, Ben Udechukwu, let's stop at this point for now. Maybe if peradventure by God's grace he wins the election, we'll continue with the rest of it.
There are a lot to talk about.
All right, thank you very much. Your principal, Engineer NanaOfuji, is one of the governorship candidates in Abia State.
Correct. And
then it's just a few days to the election, talking about 18th of March. At this point, Ben Udechukwu, why is your principal in the race?
Well, he did say a few days ago that he is in the race to broaden what he's been doing for Abians a long time. Let me give you an instance. He says he's in the race to create wealth. He's been creating wealth. If you go to Mojima, you'll see a gigantic shopping mall. I've mentioned about his furniture company, I've mentioned about his shoe factory, I've mentioned about the asphalt plant. He said he's going to create wealth, and he has told us how he's going to create wealth. He is in the race because he has feelings for civil servants in Abia State, and he has also told us that within 30 months that all the monies owed pensioners, all the gratuities owed, and all the salaries backlog that is going to clear it. He's in the race because he's a sincere person. He's not an everyday politician. He's in the race because he has gone to Ukwa and he has seen what he could do with the Azumini Blue River. He told us that both services are possible. He told us that Ukwa rubber plants can be revived. He also told us that if we are sincere enough, there should be an administrative office of a Sopadek in Ukwa. He has gone to Isialangwa and told them that, look, Abia State is the only state that has not realized dry port, promised them since 1999 by the Obasanjo administration. He has also said he's going to pay counterpart fund to realize dry ports in Isialangwa. He's in the race because he has seen how cashew nuts are wasting in Umunochi. He has also said that he's been doing business with Julius Berger as a consultant, that it's going to be very easy to bring them to come to Abia to do what they are doing in Ogun State and Lagos State. He's also said that he knows about quarry services, that what he's doing in Amasri is going to be a child's play to what he's going to do with what stone we have in Umunochi. He's in the race because he knows that while we are crying during COVID, Abians were saying there was no money, while we are collecting 3 million naira for quarry services, that he paid the loan as a company 80-90 million naira to the state government. He said what feats they are doing in Ebo that is going to duplicate it here in Abia State. He said that when he comes on board, that quarry services alone will return more than 450 million naira a year for Abia State government. Nana has gone to Ikuano. He said Ikuano should be the true food basket of Abia State. How is he going to do that? He said he's going to make sure there is a handshake between Akwa Ibom and Abia State through Ikuano. Ikuano is also bounded by Isialangwa on the other side, and he is saying that we could galvanize all that to make Ikuano the true food basket of Abia State. Nana has gone to Aba and said, I'm in the race because I've seen Aba, while they are remodeling an area, where they are trying to build new shops, I've seen something different I'm going to do to create wealth. I'm going to open the roads from Port Harcourt to Aba. I'm going to open the roads from Ikotek Bene to Aba. I'm going to open the roads from Ikuano to Omaya. And when you do all that, they will aggregate to people coming to buy from an area. But unless these things are done, you are not going to create wealth. People don't create wealth when they don't sell. You don't create wealth for people when their businesses are moribund. So he has a different idea of what he's going to do in Aba. And he also said, Aba as it is could do better. He looked at what they did in Fox, and he said, as an engineer, that the diameter of pipe used in collecting stormwater at Ifeoma is not what I would do as an engineer. He has looked at the size of the diameter of the pipe they use or the horsepower of the pump they use and said, I could do better. So by the time you look at it, it was none that told us that from Osisoma down to Park is less than 6 kilometers. It was none that told us that if you are driving from Park down to Port Harcourt to the other side of it, it is less than 8 meters. 8 kilometers, sorry. So he knows that if he comes to be the governor of the other states, he has an idea of the challenges, he knows how to solve them, and he knows that these things are not rocket science. He has told us in education that no matter what you do, that he's a welfare person. White people is predicated on welfareism. He said, I am going to make sure that teachers are happy. He's looking at how teachers were in 1980. When teachers were getting housing loans, when teachers were getting car loans, when teachers were going overseas to the train, when teachers were happy, when teachers were dashing their students' money. Not today they've been pauperized, not today they've been impoverished, not today that teachers have made to look ordinary. He is saying that when I come in as governor, I'm going to look at the welfare of teachers. I'm going to make sure that teachers, people will begin to envy teaching profession again in this dispensation.
All right, Udechukwu, you've said a lot of things about your principle, but what we'll be wondering, all those things you've mentioned, remember talking about pension, salaries, and what have you, we'll give specific attention to those things. But what we'll be asking a capital question, do those things represent the agenda of your principle for Abia State?
They do. We have what we call 7 governors' priorities.
All right.
The principal 7 of one of those 7 governors' priorities is security and governance. And if you look at what we have in security and governance, they are interwoven. They are fundamental to the challenges we have in Abia State. Nana has said, if I'm talking about clearing backlog of salaries, gratuities, and pensions, I know what I mean, because I'm going to crash cost of governance. He has said if you give Abia State as it is presently, that teachers will not be owed. Forget all the gimmicks about categorizing people as core and on-call civil servants. That is preposterous, is ridiculous. He is saying that if what we have in governance is implemented, within 30 months, he's going to clear. He was the person that told us that our exposure to debt in terms of salaries, gratuities, when you add up all of them, it will come to about 40 billion naira. He did not say 6 months, he didn't say 3 months. He's a realistic person, he's a businessman. He knows that he cannot do it within 6 months. He's not a regular politician that comes to lie to Abians, and he has told us how he's going to do it.
How?
Nana said, if he becomes the governor, instead of wasting money commissioning a project he did for 20 million, he commissioned it for now 10 million naira, instead of flying private jets, instead of doing those things that are frivolous, instead of engaging in everything that has to do with wasteful expenditure that is going to save money for others. He said for every month he's going to save not less than 600 million naira. And the 600 million I'm talking about, if you calculate all they do, if you calculate all the things that are frivolous, all the things that don't make sense. Let me give you an instance. When Osama flyover was commissioned, you saw something like 5 buses per local government, that is 17 local government, 85 buses, 1,000 naira per participant. If you are coming as a stakeholder, 5 million naira per local government and all that. You don't need that. A Nana would have sent a local government chairman to commission on summer flyover, because it doesn't make sense to waste money. You are scheduled to travel to Abuja.
Then Udechukwu, are you not just saying this because your principal is coming?
No. Look at the businesses he is managing. When I tell you about Nana, I'm talking about what he's been doing. I'm not saying what he could do. Look at his businesses. Take a trip. There was a time I took journalists to his factory at Omimo. When you see the level of, if you see the level of expertise, technical know-how that has gone into the businesses and the kind of things he does to manage them, you know that he will do all this. Now, when you save 600 million naira a month, in 10 months we have 6 billion. 20 months we have 12 billion. 30 months we have 18 billion. And while he's doing all this, targeting to clear this backlog of salaries, everybody will be receiving salaries every month in other states. Whether you are called, I don't even know what that means. Somebody was arguing with me that if you are a staff of other states university, that you're not a civil servant. Maybe I don't understand what my dictionary is saying. I don't know what they mean by that. But every government worker in other states, particularly those who have stayed for a very long time without receiving salary, they will smile like never before. Nana is a welfare, I keep telling you, and he's going to run a government of public servants.
All right, you've touched on the issue of education, security, and what have you. We also know Abia State, when it comes to agricultural productivity, Abia State is good at that. Does your principal, Engineer Ejinaya Wafo, has plans to enhance rural farmers, most importantly, in terms of ensuring food security in the state?
Yes, we also have agriculture. Let me just list our 7 governance priorities so that you understand it's not a fluke.
All right.
I've mentioned security and governance, and also now food and security. We have commerce and industrialization. We have infrastructure development. We have revenue enhancement. We have education and social service, youth development. We have health and social services. These are some of the 7 points we want. So in our administration incoming to in equity by the grace of God on the 29th of May. Now we were in Bende local government. When we mentioned about fertilizers, the farmers there told us that they have the most arable and fertile land in other states, that they don't even need fertilizer, that we should open up roads for them and probably give them opportunity for cottage industries. So what I'm saying this is, we've gone around other states. We understand places where our agriculture and food security could be given attention and could boom. I mentioned to you about what is happening in Udechukwu, and Nana has said his heart bleeds each time he runs through Udechukwu and see that cashew nuts are wasted. He was the person that opened our eyes that because of forest issues and challenges, that what Julius Berger does is to look for local investments for them to get naira and kobo. They can also use them to exchange, to get foreign exchange. Now in Udechukwu, the cashews there could be put to productive use. It's farming, it's agriculture. And they also say that by the time you put the cashew nuts in Udechukwu to productive use, to a reasonable extent, that insecurity challenges in Udechukwu will be a thing of the past. He told us that Udechukwu is strategic, bounded by 4 states, and the state of Benin, Imo, and Anambra. That there are a lot of economic activity that should be going on there. There should be farming activities in quantum in Udechukwu, but because we are not harnessing those opportunities, they are lying low. If you go to Bende, you see that they have arable land for rice farming, but my brother, they are itinerant. What we need to do is to find out how best to bring a rice processing mill in Bende, so that what they have could come in commercial quantities. Do you know that people in Ishalangwa are one of the best farmers, but because they cannot even access their roads, nothing is happening. So what Nana is saying is, there is no way you can take away food security and agriculture, take it away from infrastructure development. So we are going to do a handshake. If we go to Okwa, we have to open up the roads before you talk about rubber plantation. We have to open up the roads. He said he's going to cultivate using 10 hectares of land that are lying fallow in Okwa. That is going to cultivate, but before he does that, he makes sure he's going to open up the roads. So that when you do massive infrastructure improvement in those areas, people will start being interested. The rural people will find meaning for what they are doing. Look at our project, look at the crew. Another is promoting it, but we know that we are the owners. But if you go to your operator, your heart will bleed. You will see that there is no way to even assess the operator. He is taking it. We must provide infrastructure before agriculture can thrive in any of the local governments in other states. And
then he has put action plans for all those things.
Beautiful, like he has told us what he's going to do in his own river. He has told us what about. He said the rubber plantation is not going to be for pre-bendalism. It is not going to be for political patronage. You're going to bring experts, not because the person is your brother, he's your in-law, he's your brother-in-law, he's your sister, he's a member of your political party. No! We are talking about an idea that should work. So if an idea that should work is what we have in mind, we are going to bring experts who could do this.
All right. Ben Udechukwu, another issue is that at different fora, different meetings, Engineer Ejinaya Wafo, your principal, several times has said that look at, I will give attention to economic empowerment and youth mantra. What are his action plans for this?
Yeah, you see, YPP is Young Progressives Party. We are adverting our minds to the Abia youths. But Nana has a different plan. He does not intend to buy KK for youths in Abia State. He does not intend to buy Okada for youths in Abia State. As a matter of fact, he also does not intend to dash them money. He said his principal ideology will be to remove the youths from the streets and ultimately from politicians. That is what we call One Youth, One Skill program. There are a lot of big names in Abia State. There are a lot of entrepreneurs, small, medium, micro businesses thriving in Abia State. So what we are simply saying is that even if you're a medical doctor, even if you're an engineer, you train as a journalist, you train as a sociologist, as a psychologist, you train as an agriculturalist, that having a skill is key. So you talk about, he was an economist, he trained as an economist in school, but he's one of the best tellers. Look at Ugonde Toskimi. He's an economist. He's in well as a teller. He calls himself celebrity about teller. So we're looking at a situation whereby other youths could look up to those celebrity tellers, those people who are into bricklaying, those people who are into tiling, those people who are into... Can you imagine that they bring people from Togo, Ghana, to do some of the skills? So what Ghana is saying is that ultimately we are going to be deliberate. It is not itinerant. It's going to be something that will be done in a large scale, so that if we are talking about tailoring, we're talking about the one that can compete with the best in terms of international best practices. Other than that, those of them who are skilled in ICT, what we are saying is we're going to be deliberate about entering into global partnership with those ICT companies, because certification is key. When you are applying for a job and they're asking you what you studied in school, probably you are applying for programs officer in a big firm. You write that you trained in Fute without any intention of denigrating Fute. I just use this as an example. Okay, let me use my alma mater. You train in University of Nigeria and Suka, and they're asking you what other things. You said you have a degree in computer science and engineering. What other things you cannot mention? There are plenty certifications you can also bring those global ICT companies in partnership to do for other youths.
All right.
So when we do that, the other youth of 2023 going forward would be somebody you can be proud of.
Well, that would be if your candidate, your principal gets elected.
Not if, when.
All right.
He's going to be elected.
All right, you've been listening to the platform, and we have been speaking this morning with the director, media and publicity, NanaOfuji Campaign Organization. Of course, also the spokesperson for engineer, Udechukwu. We're going a very short break. When we return, we'll look at other aspects of the ambition of the YPP governorship candidate in Abia State. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. This morning we have been speaking with the spokesperson for engineer, Ben Udechukwu. Welcome again to the program.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, before we delve into other aspects of the program this morning, the civil servants, pensioners, teachers, and most public servants on the streets seem to be talking about love for Nana. What about that? Can you tell us more about
Yes,
that?
they love the man who has always been there for them. You see, Ben, let me tell you something about when we say there is a relationship between empathy and governance. Nana is the kind of person who takes another person's challenge personal. He's the kind of person who thinks about not just the next election, he thinks about the next generation. We know that in other states, civil servants, public servants have been subjected to all manner of hardship. So what he does is, instead of going to newspaper to take long pages to commiserate with them, long pages to ask the government to pay them, he goes to their houses, he goes to their offices and gives them cash and relief materials.
He's been doing that?
Yes, he's been doing that for over 5, 6, 7 years. And I'm sure if you ask people in Flow FM, they will tell you that in the last 5 years, he's been coming here to reach out to staff of Flow FM. Ask your friends in Magic FM. What I'm telling you is...
I've not been aware of that. Maybe it's not true.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, of course...
confirm when I...
Yes, beautiful. Call your colleagues, then call civil servants in all the ministries. Like in December, what he does every Christmas and festive season is, instead of giving press releases, I understand their own salaries, he give them onions, rice, and all sorts of things, and cash. And some of them who could come private, he would pay school fees of their wards. most civil servants in other states, he settle their hospital bills, because Nana knows from what is happening to their salaries, they cannot afford it. This is a man who has not been to any of those ministries. He sends projects because he's not a very loud person. I told you that the man who has spent more on people with renal failure in this state is Nana. If you see that ambulance owned by each one Ed One Foundation, it will give you an idea of the character and personality of the person you want to make governor in Abia State come May 29th, 2023. So those civil servants and pensioners who are talking about them are those he has been relating with, not because he's vying for elections. I'm talking about 2010, 2011, 2012, up to 2023. Those civil servants you see on the streets who say they love him, he was with them in December. He went across the 17 local government asking them their specific problems and the ones he could solve. So this is a man who relates with you irrespective of social class, tribe, politics, religion, or any other thing that could cause disparity. Nana is every man's wish. Nana is every woman's kind of husband. He's every politician's kind of colleague. He is the kind of journalist you want to have if he's one. He's the kind of engineer you want to love. So those civil servants, pensioners, and public servants who are talking about Nana are remembering as a memento that has been in their lives.
All right, Ben, let us face the reality at this point in time. Did you keenly monitor the just concluded presidential and National Assembly election?
Yeah, we did.
In Abia State, the YPP, Young Progressives Party in Abia State, did not win any seat at all. Even in the hometown of your principal, the YPP governorship candidate in Abia State, they didn't win election. Is this not a challenge, looking at the 18th March governorship election?
We are a very realistic political party. What happened on the 25th of February, like they say in law, is sui generis. It is unique and a different kind of election that you will not use in judging any person if you want to be realistic. Because members of YPP, I can also tell you for free, participated in the wave. And so because people were not going to take chances about Obi, they did not want to take chances about Obi not being their president, they responded accordingly. But I know that in the few polling units I visited across the same area where I voted, they said emphatically that 25th February was for P2B, that 18th March is going to be YPP and Nana. And so what people feel about P2B is what they feel about Nana in Abia State. We are not afraid. The calculations we did not fail us. The incursions we made in few areas, if you remember, it is only YPP that was able to defeat the incumbent governor in his own local government.
But don't you also see it the other way? If any of your candidates had won the election, we had that of the Ikwa and Omoya federal constituency, likewise to others.
Our candidates won. Let me tell you, when you say winning, none has been declared winner yet, but we won. We won because...
But winners have been declared already.
You don't understand me. We won because we are still living in the hearts of people. We won because places where an opposition could not get any vote in the past, YPP candidates got votes. We won because places where it was unspeakable for a neophyte, for a first timer to defeat an incumbent governor, probably couldn't let their own candidate get votes. It happened with YPP. So when you say winning, we are talking about those who INEC declared winners, but we also know that some of our people will declare winners soon. But generally speaking, we won because we entered into that election with a particular mindset and a particular philosophy. And I can tell you that we got 98% of what we got. The other ones will be declared soon. And you'll be shocked that we're as happy as those who have been declared winners.
Well, Ben Udechukwu, since you are putting it that way, I believe we should leave it at that. Yeah. Since you are putting it that way. Also, let us face the fact here. Your principal, the governorship candidate of YPP, it is believed that at a point in time, it was a critical part of the present administration in Abia State. Should this not question his appearance at the ballot at this point on another party?
Ben, I know English very well. I understand the meaning of critical. I don't know on what premise you are saying that, except you want to give that English word another definition. Enyimewa for Nana was not, is not, and has never been a critical member of this administration. He was just a contractor. And the kind of contractor he was a kind of Father Christmas contractor. I will explain to you what I mean by that. Nana came into this administration in 2015, coming with monies he had made from other places, with the mindset that let's join hands together to develop Abia. So when Nana did Adelu Road, free of charge. I said free of charge because it was a contract that was signed, but they've not given him a dime. So as we speak, that Adelu Road has not collected money. He's not the kind of person you describe as a critical member of an administration. You would have simply said Father Christmas contractor of this administration. You would have simply said the empathy contractor of this administration. You would have simply said that the magnanimous contractor of this government. You would have simply said the good man of other states. You would have simply said the humane man of other states. He's not a critical member. He's not in government. He has never been employed before. Nobody has ever given him any kind of appointment. He is just a contractor. And we know what happens in contractual agreements. There is an offer, there is an acceptance, and there is consideration. But in case of Nana, what he does is, okay, I belong here. Let me help this government to succeed. And if you are fair, if you are honest, if you are observant, you have noticed that since 2018 that they probably said, okay, this man is no longer part of fraud, he's not going to give him contracts. They are no longer doing those magics in roads. Because it's only Nana that can mobilize to site with his own money, and whatever they pay him, he will take. Not because he does not understand what profit means, because he knows he has used other state as his corporate responsibility capital. So that is how best to describe Nana. The man who has used other state as his corporate social responsibility capital, the man who has been doing roads for other state government, whether or not they pay. You know why? He has collected billions of naira, and God has blessed him through other sources like INEC, CBN, Julius Berger, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Education, like TED Fund. He's been doing jobs. So people will come and say, he came into limelight in 2015. I said, well, you knew him in 2015, not because he came into limelight in 2015. Members of this administration who are jumbo key stakeholders in this administration, who knew him before 2015, will tell you that as of 2015 was the wave of the moment. He was that young man everybody was looking up to for help. He was that young man everybody was looking up for assistance. He was that young man who would, if he doesn't enter the office in Abuja, they will say, just wait, Nana is coming. That Nana is coming with goodies, is coming, because he is a very kind-hearted person. So then, Nana was not, is not, has never been a critical member of this administration, because he has never been employed by this administration. He has never been appointed by this administration. He is just a contractor.
So you should not take a share of the blame of what is happening in this administration.
But why would you take a share of the blame? You are running your ship. You're the captain, you own the boat. I'm coming as a passenger. I have only 20 minutes to stay in the boat for 10 minutes. And you are telling me your shaft is not good because I'm a passenger. What is my business?
All right. You also said that there are projects he has completed. Also, it is alleged that most of the contracts he gained successfully from this administration, he is yet to complete those contracts or those jobs. Is this not still a threat to his chances of that?
Ben, see, I do not want to join you to the clique of people I'm going to sympathize or pity. You're a journalist.
The election?
Now, okay. See, let me tell you something. When you say most, I also know and understand English language. This government has said in different fora, the other state government had said they've constructed well over 200 roads. So when you say most, what that is simply means is more than 50%, correct? So I would want you to mention what you mean by most. Nana constructed a handful of roads. Look at my hands. What I mean by handful is there are not more than 10 roads. I can mention where the Arome JJ road, that is the smoothest local road around there. The Epika road, which the government has not completed, but I'm sure the 23 kilometers that were done by tunnel end, Nana's tunnel end, is about the smoothest again around there. Only as a magnanimous contractor, as a very kind-hearted and patriotic Abian, that only he did it 3 times. Let me tell you why he did it 3 times. Because there were no designs. In other state government, because they want to save money, because they want to, they are the kind of procurement policy probably may not be the best. So what Nana did was, he did soil tests on Omni Road and found out on his own that that place was galaxy of mines, probably what happened during the war. So he redesigned that Omni Road, and it is still standing at its own cost 7 years after. He did Omni Road, he did MCC Samek Road, he did the one they call Chimawafa Road. Then he also used this opportunity to tell people that he was not the person that did that Umojima, from Umojima Express down to his house. That contract was done by J&J. But people who are ignorant, those who think because it is around his village, it is around his native home, that he was the person that did the road. I'm telling people on radio now that he did not do that road. That road was awarded to J&J Construction Company. But as a patriotic person, as somebody who is nice, kind-hearted, I keep telling you, he's urban, he's humane, Nana is extremely nice a person. What he does on that road every year, every 6 months, is to do remediation works.
You know, your principal at the moment is now a public figure.
Yeah, so there is no certain about the roads he did, he could not complete. Mention the roads. He did not do Fox Road. He did not do Open Wire. He's not the person doing no Hanko. He did not do Umba Road. He has never done any road in Omaya. So what are we talking about? So when they say most roads, this is propaganda. These people are not properly informed. Let me tell you something. The governorship candidate of the PDP was on radio. I listened to him tell people that Nana disappeared with the road, with the money meant for Hanko Road. And I told myself, this person was a former chief of staff. Does it mean that he has not looked at the books? I was at the verge of saying unkind words to him 2 days after. Secretary to the same state government, he is their governorship candidate, made a release telling Abians that Hanko Road was awarded to Heartland. He mentioned the place where the contract was awarded, somewhere in Egypt or something, I don't remember. He mentioned the figure involved. But there was a governorship candidate who wanted to curry favor from people, telling others there was Nana that was awarded to Hanko Road and he disappeared with the money. And he began to wonder the caliber of public servants we have. How would you say a contract that has a prerequisite called advance payment guarantee, like all the IMA projects, that somebody ran away with the money? How can? Nobody has given Nana a dime on Obiharu. Nobody awarded Obiharu, but you see them come here to tell lies. And I said, these people, you know why I said I wanted to join you? These people are pathological liars.
All right, you know, looking at your position, the position of your principal at the moment, being a governorship candidate, most of these issues have to be addressed because of.
Yeah, we are addressing them, and we are telling people the truth now.
All right, Ben Udechukwu, given the candidates across the political parties in Abia State, that of the PDP, APC, and what have you. Now, where would you place your principal before we open the phone lines, considering the 18th March governorship election in Abia State?
There was a recent poll conducted by Nigerians Decide, a team of Nigerians who live in the US, who are talking to voters in Abia State online. Nana polled 65% of the votes online, ahead of APC, PDP, Labour Party, and others. So to answer your question straight, for now, Nana is the #1 candidate
in Abia State.
In Abia State, and because we are running a single candidate campaign, we are not seeing others. We are not seeing others because we have not seen any single candidate here who has ties as much as Nana has with Abians. Sometime when tanker drivers closed or entered down to Omeka, the reason they closed it was because the road that leads to the depot was destroying their vehicles, and they threatened that if nothing is done, that Abians would buy fuel at 1,000 naira per liter. That was when we were buying less than 180. It was a Nana, compassionate Nana, empathic Nana, a Nana that is obedient, a Nana that is humane, that stopped his vehicle, entered into negotiation with the tanker driver and asked them what could possibly be done. And I'm telling you that he did not go to do press release, he did not go to grant press interviews, he did not do a special announcement. He simply asked his engineers to bring hardcore to that road that leads to the depot. And that was how those tanker drivers called off their strike. Now, it was the same Nana last December, you were aware that along the Enugu-Port Harcourt Express Road, that the tanker drivers blocked for days. Even when the government tried to speak with them, they did not Listen, it was one man that left the comfort of his home, walked from an area down to where they were, about 4, 5, 6 kilometers on foot, and told them that before he leaves here, that he's going to bring hardcore 10 trucks or more to make sure that the road is accessible.
So your principal stands a better chance of becoming
Of course, because he has ties with the people.
All right, let's open our phone lines at this point so that we entertain questions and comments from our listener this morning. We have been speaking with the spokesperson for engineer Eyinaya Chima Mwafo, of course, the Young Progressives Party governorship candidate in Abia State. There are other questions, but let us field in questions from our listeners. 0808-182-6949, 0811-605-2949. This is a platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chima, from research.
All right, Chima.
Our guys, good morning. Please, we don't have much to say. Abians are prepared on Saturday. But then, please, I want you to convey this message to your principal, Chima Mwafo. You see, that Odinga matches, we are still talking, and we will continue to talk about that Odinga. You know, PDP has never won an election in Abia, except using Odinga. When you use Odinga, you know, to lead the election. Where they will tell you that they have 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. There is anything, tell Chima Mwafo, if there is anything Chima Mwafo can help Abians, so stop those matches to me, Diva. So Diva.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless
Your
you.
point has been made. You're welcome to the program. Lost that call 0808-182-6949, 0811-605-2949. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
Good morning. My name is Coach Level. My brother, you will to hear everything that is said. Mr. Ben, do not also forget that you've been part of that this government from a time WPG Party came on board. You are a member of Project 365. Do not forget. Yes, I know a lot of things that you did. Today you're not telling us how Nyawafo will fire and the water everywhere. My dear brother, I like Nyawafo as a person. But there are a lot of projects that you can only say what he told you. When did you join him? A couple of months ago. I know even when you joined him, you also eating salary from this government. So why are you coming to tell us how this, that, and all the rest of it? But however, by Saturday, the election will be held.
Okay.
I want to plead with you. Who will lose the election now? Only Mepaya in good faith. Because let it not be at the end of the day when you follow all these boys and all the rest of them.
Your point has been made.
It won't be nice.
All right, okay, thank you. I believe you will go out there also to cast a vote. Let us take this call before you react to these issues. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Morning, Moses.
Good morning.
Yeah, I remember this coming from Islam. You know, I thank my brother that is here. He's talking concerning our brother NanaOfuji. You know that God will make a way in Abia in peace. God will make a way where there is no way. Because we want to change anything that is not good in this area. So come in peace. God will make a way for somebody who is still able to be there. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, let me allow you, Ben Udechukwu, before I take a message on our Facebook page to react to those.
Okay, let me react to what Chidebe said about, I can only say what Nana told me. Well, I also like the fact that he appreciates that I've been a part of this government. So what it simply means is, I know more than Nana could tell me. So what I tell people out there is, please, when they lie to you, when they tell you some of those things that are unspeakable, ask questions. Call into programs like this and you would know which one is the truth. They keep telling you he did this, he did. I've told you in this on this program, on this show, that the rules and the contracts, I can count them on my finger hands. So what is he talking about? He is one of those persons who is going about saying he did Fox Road, he did Obohe, he did Hank, he did Ngwa Road, he did all the roads in other states. And we are saying here, it is not true. They are lying to you to curry favor. The young man who made that call should be specific. Let him tell. I'm here to answer hard questions.
All right. On our Facebook page, Nana is the biggest investor in Abia State. This is how to show your love for the state. One intent to govern. Up YPP. All right. The next one. God bless NanaOfuji are men that understand the job. At this point, tell us a little about the Equeras Road. What happened before we ran up the program?
Okay. Yes, I've heard people going around Facebook talking about Equeras Road. Well, let me also say that Equeras Road, they call it the Equeras Omaro Road. It's somewhere in Obingwa. It connects Akwa Ibom State. At the time, other state government awarded contract for the Equeras Omaro Road. They were specific in the scope of that job to say it is a rural road. Then let me explain to you. Transmitters are not of the same capacity, correct? If you want to run a road, can't you do a community radio? You can if you want to, right? Is there any law that says an expert cannot supply a transmitter for a community radio? Sorry for asking you. There is no such rule. Now this is what happened in Equeras. The government wanted to run a community radio. And we told them that this community radio would not work. There are people in Ebony who could see from part of this audience. Why do you want to limit your audience to only those in Equeras Omaro? Because what the government said was, it is a road that people use to their farmlands. And the scope of work was for light asphalt and no drainage at all. So what are we saying? Naturally, that road failed. The government, in their wisdom, went on air, took pages of newspaper, took airtime and explained that they accept responsibility for the failure of Equeras Road. And they said they were going to rebuild it. Nana the compassionate person, Nana the kind-hearted person, Nana the man who does not look at profits. He has made Abia State his corporate social responsibility capital, said, on my own, I will do half of the road free of charge at no extra cost to the government. If you go to Equeras Road as we speak, that portion of the road that has been reconstructed is the one done by engineer Chimawan at no extra cost to the government. Let me also tell you, the people who talk about this road do not even know where the road is.
All right, there's another message here. Engineer Nanawa for Nana remains the most prepared Abia State governorship candidate who has its investment here in Abia State and has the interest of the people. Nana and YPP we know. All right, 18th March 2023, a day of reckoning in Abia State. Ben Udechukwu, your parting statement. What do you have to tell your supporters?
People? You know, we are a new party. We've never contested governorship elections before. As a matter of fact, in Abia State, this is the first time you're seeing about. So what I'm trying to tell people is keep in your hearts that where you are going to vote, YPP. Go down, forget all other parties, go down, second to the last party, second to the last. Put your fingertip, be rest assured that engineer one for the person you are voting for has character, he's competent, and he has a capacity to lead us to Abia of our dream. On the 18th of March, look at him as somebody who has been around for a very long time. He is not the person that appears only during elections. Look at him as that man has been going around talking to teachers, being nice to them. That man who has been going around doing good and making sure that Abians, to the best of his ability, are in good shape.
Spokesperson for engineer Chimanwafo, the YPP gubernatorial candidate in Abia State, Ben Udechukwu, of course, a lawyer, journalist, public relations consultant, and advertising practitioner. Thank you for your appearance on today's program.
Thank you very much, Ben.
All right, the platform will make a return on Wednesday. My name is Moses Ben. Thank you.